Good morning, student. I, Professor Trupti Bhumre, welcomes you all to the fourth lecture of Computer Architecture and Organization. In today's lecture, we are going to start with the basic operational concept. In the first two lectures, what is computer system, what are the different functional units of computers, these topics are already discussed by the Professor Akhilesh Tade sir. So in today's lecture, we will directly start with the basic operational concept. So as we discussed in the last lecture, what is the basic function of computer? The basic function of computer is to execute a program. So what is meant by program? Program is a set of instruction. So the basic function of computer is to execute a program, and program is a set of instruction. It means that what is the basic function of computer? To execute an instructions. It means that to complete a single instruction, we have to go through three-step cycle. That means to fetch an instruction, to decode instruction, and last one is the to execute an instruction. So first step is that first processor has to fetch instruction from memory. Once it has been fetched, it has to be decoded. What is meant by decoding? Decoding doesn't mean converting instruction into binary form. Decoding means understanding binary pattern. What does it signify? So once it is decoded, your instruction will be executed. So after execution, your result is either given to the user through output device. For example, if you are performing addition, like 3 plus 5, so the result 8 will be given to the user through the output device, that means through the monitor, because your output will be displayed on your monitor, your screen, or it is stored in the memory for later use. For example, 3 plus 5 minus 2. So what is the result of 3 plus 5? That is 8. Is temporary stored in memory for later use. That means that after that, this 2 is to be subtracted from this 8. So these temporary results are stored in a buffer register for later use. Okay, so after execution, your result is either given to the user through output device, or it is stored in the memory for later use. Okay, while doing execution or while displaying the result or storing it in memory, different functional units of computer system contribute to execute a program. So which are the functional units? Input unit, memory unit, arithmetic and logical unit, control unit, and output unit. These are the 5 functional units of computer. So what is the working of input unit? Input unit always accepts data and instructions from user. Accepts data means this 3 and 5, for example, it is your data given by you to the computer. And instruction 3 plus 5, it is performing add operation. That means add 3 comma 5 is an instruction given by the user to the computer system. So what is input unit? It accepts data and instructions from user. Then memory unit, as I already told you, memory unit stores data and instructions into memory. Then arithmetic and logical unit. Arithmetic and logical unit performs arithmetic and logical operations. Arithmetic operation means addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. And logical operation means your Boolean operations. Then control unit. Control unit supervises all the activity. As in the last lecture, I told you that to fetch instruction from the memory, to decode instructions, these are the functions are performed by your control unit, and execution is performed by arithmetic and logical unit, because your processor is divided into two parts. First one is the control unit part, and second one is the arithmetic and logical unit part. So control unit supervises all the activities. And then output unit. Output unit gives results back to the user by using output devices like printer, monitor, and so on. Okay, so to execute the instruction, processor requires some general purpose registers for temporary storage of data. As I told you, 3 plus 5 minus 2. So the result generated by 3 plus 5 instruction, that result is stored in a temporary register for the for further use or for later use. So to execute the instruction, processor requires a GPR, general purpose register for the temporary storage of data, and some special purpose registers. Now, which are the special purpose register? Program counter, instruction register, memory address register, and memory data register. These four registers are the special purpose register. Now, what is their function? I will tell you. Okay, so general purpose register and special purpose registers are required for the execution of an instruction. So first we will discuss about what is special purpose register. So first special purpose register is program counter, which is also known as PC. So this PC is a program counter and it is also known as pointer register. So what is program? Program is a set of instructions which are to be executed. Okay. So these instructions must be executed in a proper sequence because we believe that instructions are executed in a sequential manner. Okay. Now in C, C++, we believe that program always executed in a sequential manner. And program is a set of instruction. That means instruction must be executed in a sequential manner, like first instruction, then second, third, and fourth, like that. Okay. So this execution sequence is monitored by the program counter. And that's why program counter is known as pointer register, because it points and keep track of the address of next instruction which is to be executed. For example, this is instruction 1, this is instruction 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, for example, you are executing instruction number 2. Okay, now this is also memory location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if you are executing instruction, that is second number of instruction. So PC will hold the instruction, PC will hold the address of next instruction. That means while executing instruction at memory location 2, PC will hold the next instruction. That means instruction which is stored at memory location 3. Okay, after that 3, 4, and 5. And that's why your program is always run in a sequential manner. Okay, it's not true always, but as most of the times your program is executed in a sequential manner. Okay, and which are the exceptional case that we will discuss in later. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now I think you understood what is program counter. Program counter holds the address of next instruction while executing current instruction. That means if you are executing instruction which is stored at memory location 2, that time PC will point to the next instruction which is stored at memory location 3, and after that 4, 5, 6, and so on. The next special purpose register is IR, that is instruction register. So this instruction register holds the instruction which is currently being executed. It means that, look here, your PC is pointed here, memory location 2. Now you are executing current instruction which is stored at memory location 2. Okay, now that time your PC will point to the next memory location, but this instruction is held by the IR because IR holds the instruction which is currently being executed. For example, here is your 3 plus 5 stored at memory location 3, memory location 2, and here is your 3 minus 1. Okay, now currently you are executing this instruction. So this instruction is held by the IR, that is instruction register, and while executing this instruction, your PC will point to the 3 minus 1, that is next instruction. Okay, so the contents of IR, contents of instruction register, are available to the control unit. Why they are available to the control unit? Because First, processor has to fetch instruction from memory, and this fetching is done by the control unit. So the content of IR, that means the instruction that which is being currently executed, is available to the control unit, which in turn generate the control signals, because in computer system, while doing each and every work, control signals are necessary to perform that task. So to control various processing elements involved in instruction execution. Then the next special purpose register is memory address register and memory data register. So these registers are used to handle the data transfer between main memory and the processor. For example, this 3 plus 5 is stored at memory location 2. Now this address, now processor has to fetch instruction from memory location 2, but this address is given by the memory address register. Okay, that means processor has to fetch data from memory location 2. How processor get to know that? That processor has to fetch data from memory location 2 because of this memory address register. This memory address register holds the address of instruction. So memory address register is responsible for transfer between main memory and the processor. So memory address register holds the address of main memory location with which processor is currently communicating. That means your processor is fetching 3 plus 5. Okay, and memory address register holds the address memory location 2. And then memory data register. Memory data register is also called as memory buffer register. Okay, now memory address register holds the address of memory location, but whatever the data stored at that memory location is held by memory data register. Okay, there are two separate registers, one for address and another for data. So this 3 plus 5, this instruction contains some data like 3 and 5. So this data is held by which register? This data is held by memory address register, and the address, that is memory location 2, is held by memory address register. Okay. So memory data register is also called as memory buffer register. It contains the data to be written or read from the address word of main memory. That means while processor fetching instruction, fetching this 3 plus 5 from memory location 2, this 2 is held by MAR and the data is held by MDR. Now this time processor is reading instruction from memory. Okay, here we are now doing return operation. Here processor is reading data from memory, that is 3 and 5. After performing this addition, so after doing addition, what will be the result? 8. Okay, that time there are two conditions, either to display that 8 directly to the user by using output device, or store that 8 into the memory. Okay, if we are displaying that 8 directly to the user, okay, then it's fine. Here our operation ends. But if we want to store that 8 into the memory location, that time processor has to perform write operation. Okay, so reading data and writing data into the memory. These both operations are performed by the processor by using memory data register. Okay, so read data from memory is also done by MDR. Write data into memory is also done by MDR. Okay, now you understood the difference between memory address register and memory data register. Okay, then we have some general purpose registers. So these are the registers used to store necessary data for an arithmetic and logic unit and the results after computation. As I told you that 3 plus 5 minus 2, this 8. This 8 we have to use for latter use. That means we have to subtract this 2 from this 8. So for that, this 8 is stored in general purpose register, that is buffer register, which are also called as temporary data storage. So access time of these registers is too small. So they are used to store frequently used data. The data that we use frequently are stored in general purpose register because their access time is too small. We can access data from GPR very fastly. Okay, so these are the general purpose register and special purpose registers. After that, now we know that program is a set of instruction. Processor has to fetch an instruction from memory. After fetching, processor has to decode that instruction. Why we have to decode that instruction? To get to know that what type of operation we have to perform on that data. That's why we have to decode an instruction. After decoding, we have to perform execution. Okay, so these are the basic steps that now we know that how we complete an instruction. Okay, but how typically an instruction is executed by processor? So first thing is that activity in a computer is governed by instruction. Okay, because processor has to fetch instruction, has to decode instruction, and has to execute instruction. So to perform a given task, an appropriate program consisting of a list of instructions is stored in the memory. So individual instructions are brought from the memory into the processor. For example, your C program. Your C program is stored in a memory, but that C program contains number of instructions. Okay, printf, scanf, display output. So that the C program contains number of instructions. So processor has to fetch individual instruction from the memory into the processor. So data to be used as operands are also stored in the memory. What is operands? On which we have to perform operation. For example, here add location a comma r0. For example, add 3 comma 5. So here your 3 and 5 are your operands because we have to perform this add operation on this 3 and 5. So data to be used as operands, that means this 3 and 5 are also stored in memory. Okay, so typical instruction look like this, like add location a comma r0. So this instruction adds the operand at memory location a. Now here I'm directly representing data, but here your data is stored at location a. Likewise here your instruction 3 plus 5 is stored at memory location 2. So here at memory location A, let's consider 3 is stored, and at R0 your 5 is stored. This R0 is register. So your 5 is stored in register and your 3 is stored at location A. Okay. So this instruction adds the operand at memory location A. Which operand is stored at memory location A? 3. To the operand in a register in the processor. Now this R0 is your general purpose register which temporarily stores the data, which temporarily holds the data. Okay, so your 5 is stored at R0. Okay, and places the sum into register R0. It means that after performing addition on 3 and 5, your output will be 8. So this 8 will be stored at R0. Okay. So in computer organization, when you see an instruction, the first operand is your source and second operand is your destination. Okay. So after performing addition on 3 plus 5, your output 8. It means that you have to store that output 8 into your destination. That means R0. Okay. So the original contents of location A are preserved. Why? Because 3 is already stored at location A, and after performing addition, the value of location A is still 3. But R0 are overwritten because the initial value of R0 is 5. But after performing addition, what is the value of R0 is 8 because this R0 is your destination register. That's why you have to store your result at this R0. Okay, so location A the data at location A is preserved, but data at location R0 or data in location R0 is overwritten. So this instruction requires the performance of several steps. Why several steps? Let's consider this is your memory. Now this is your processor. Here is your location A. This is memory location 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and somewhere in the processor there is R0 register. Okay, so location A contains what data? 3. So first processor has to fetch data from location A, that is 3. After that, processor has to read data which is stored at R0, that is 5. And which operation it has to perform? Addition. Okay, it means that this instruction requires the performance of several steps: to read data from memory, to read data from register, and then to decode instruction, and then perform execution. So first the instruction is fetched from the memory into the processor. Then next operand at location A is fetched, that is 3, and added to the contents of R0. And finally, the resulting sum is stored in R0. That means initially the value of R0 is 5, but now the value of R0 is 8. Okay, so this as instruction combines memory access operation with an ALU operation. That means that we are reading data from memory, also we are performing arithmetic operation, that means addition. So in many modern computers, these two types of operation, that means memory access operation and arithmetic operations, are performed by separate instruction because of performance issue. So how these are done by separate instructions, that we will see. So what is separate memory access instruction and ALU operation? So there are two instructions: load location A comma R1, and second instruction is that add R1 comma R0. So this R1 and R0 both are general purpose register which are stored in processor. Okay, so first of these instructions, that means load location A comma R1, transfers the contents of memory location A into the processor register R1, because I told you this is the source and this is destination. Okay, so in CAO, computer architecture and organization, in every instruction we have to start from source to destination. So in this instruction, we are transferring the contents which is stored at location A into the processor register R1. Here is your location A. This is your processor. In this processor, there is a R1 register, and this is memory. This is processor. Okay, so we have to load the data stored at location A, transfer it to the R1. Okay, now the contents of R1 are 3 because we are transferring this 3 to the register R1. And the second instruction adds the contents of register R1 and R0. Okay, now the contents of R1 are add with the contents of R0, and where the result will be stored into the R0, because this is source and this is destination. Now this R0 is also stored in processor. Okay, the R0 is a processor register. So the data stored at R0 is 5. Now the data which is stored at R1 is 3. Now we have to add this 3 with 5. Okay, that means 8. And this 8, where we have to store this result? In the R0. That means the contents of R0 will be overwritten and this 5 will become 8. Okay, so this destroy the former contents of register R1 as well as those of R0. Why it destroyed the contents of R1? Because before transferring data from location A to R1, for example, there is 1, and while transferring this 3 to R1, R1 become 3. Okay, and while adding this R1 with R0, the result 8 will be stored at R0. That means 5 will become 8. So what happens here? The contents of both the register R1 and R0 are overwritten. But in this example, the data of first that is location A will be preserved and only R0 will be overwritten. But now while performing separate memory access and ALU operation, it will overwritten both the registers. That means R1 and R0. And whereas the original contents of memory location A are preserved. Memory location A is 3 and it is also 3 after the execution of instruction. Okay, so the transfer between the memory and the processor are started by sending address of the memory location to be accessed to the memory unit. For example, now processor has to fetch data which is stored at memory location 1. Okay, so this location 1 is given by which register? Memory address register. Okay, so processor finds the memory location 1, processor goes to that memory location 1, at that memory location 1, location A holds the data 3. Now this 3 is transferred to the processor by using which register? MDR, that is memory data register. Okay, so the data are then transferred to or from the memory by using MDR, memory data register. Okay, now next, this figure shows how the memory and the processor can be connected. Processor is divided into two parts: control unit, arithmetic and logic unit. Along with that, processor has some general purpose register and processor has some special purpose register. So this R0 to Rn minus 1, these all are the general purpose register, but program counter, instruction register, memory address register and memory data register, these all are the special purpose register as we already discussed. Okay, and it also this diagram also shows some essential operational details of the processor. So in addition to the arithmetic and logic unit and the control unit, the processor contains number of register used for several different purposes. That's why they are called as general purpose register. Okay, and also there are some special purpose register, instruction register. What is instruction register? Instruction register holds the instruction that is currently being executed. That means, for example, this is add 3 plus 5. This instruction is currently being executed and is held by the instruction register. Okay, currently PC is point to this memory location, but while executing this add 3, 5, PC will point to the next memory location. That is memory location 4. So program counter is a specialized register which keeps tracks of the execution of program, because it always keep track of the next instruction. It holds the address of next instruction. Okay, and during the execution of an instruction, the contents of PC are updated to correspond to the address of next instruction to be executed. For example, PC will be updated by memory location 4 while executing instruction at memory location 3. And this MAR is to hold the address of memory location. That means MAR hold address location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the MDR is to read and write the data from memory. So now let's consider some typical operating steps. Program reside in the memory and usually get there through the input unit. Programs always reside in memory and they usually get there through the input unit. Why? For example, add 3 plus 5. This is a small program. Okay, because program contains instruction and add 3, 5 is instruction. So when you type on your calculator that 3 plus 5, this 3 plus 5 is given by input unit to the memory. That which is your input unit now? Your keypad. Okay, so the programs or instructions resides in the memory are usually get there through the input unit. Then execution of the program starts when the PC is set to point to the first instruction of the program. For example, now your PC, it points to the memory location 3, add 3, 5. Now the contents of the PC are transferred to the MAR. Now while fetching this instruction, processor needs to know that from which memory location it has to fetch that instruction. So this memory location is given by 3 to the MAR. Now the value of MAR is 3. And now by using this memory address register, PC will fetch the data from memory location 3. and read control signal is sent to the memory. Okay, now that time processor is reading data from this memory location, and that's why read control signal will be generated. And after the time required to access the memory elapsed and the address word is read out of the memory and loaded into the MDR. So after reading this add 3, 5, the data 3 and 5 is loaded into the memory data register. So to fetch this instruction, processor use MAR, but to get this data out of the memory into the processor use MDR. Okay. And next, the contents of MDR are transferred to the IR because IR holds the instruction currently being executed. Now, processor reads the instruction, and after reading this instruction, this data is transferred to the MDR, and after that, the instruction that is currently being executed is given to the IR, that is instruction register. And at this point, the instruction is ready to be decoded and executed. Okay, fetching is done. Reading is done, data is loaded into memory data register, and the instruction that we have to execute is loaded into the instruction register. So after instruction is loaded into the IR, now this is the time when processor decodes an instruction. Okay, and after decoding, processor will perform execution of an instruction. So if the instruction involves an operation to be performed by the ALU, it is necessary to obtain the required operands. Now in this instruction, which are the operands? 3 and 5, because we have to perform addition on 3 and 5. What is operand? On which we have to perform arithmetic and logical operations. So if an operand resides in memory, it has to be fetched by sending its address to the MAR. As I already told you, first we have to send the address to the memory address register and initiating a read cycle. And when the operand has been read from the memory into the MDR, it is transferred from MDR to the ALU. So after one or more operands are fetched in this way, ALU can perform the desired operation. That means after fetching both the operands 3 and 5, ALU can perform the addition operation on that operands. So if the result of this operation is to be stored in the memory, okay, for example, 3 plus 5 minus 2. Now the result of this 3 plus 5, 8. That time we have to store that result into the memory again to subtract 2 from it. So that time again we have to send this data to the memory by using memory data register. Now this time we are performing write operation into the memory. Fetching 3 and 5 by using MDR is the read operation, and storing 8 into the memory is the write operation. And the address of the location where the result is to be stored is sent to the MAR, because the transferring address to and from the memory and processor is done by the memory address register. And at the same time, your PC will be incremented. That means your PC will point to the next instruction which is to be executed. And as soon as the execution of current instruction is completed, a new instruction fetch may be started. So as soon as addition 3, 5 is complete, PC will point to the next instruction, like next instruction is 3, 2. Now this is the instruction which has to be executed. So PC will point to this instruction. Okay, so I think you understood the concept, what is program counter, what is instruction register, what is MAR and MDR, but still if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the discussion session. So the next topic we will see in the next lecture.